Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video we are going to see how to sketch a signal based on the given expression. Here we have the expression given, that is x of t times del t plus 3 by 2 minus del of t minus 3 by 2. Okay, now let's see what is this del of this one represents. Whenever we say del of t, let's draw this one. Whenever we say del of t, we are talking about an area that is 1, but the amplitude is infinity. So if I consider del of t, it's going to be at the origin. So this is del of t. So the area is going to be 1, but the amplitude is infinity. So this is del of t times t, versus t. Now let's see what's going to happen if we put plus 3 by 2. Plus 3 by 2 means 3 by 2 units to the left, right? We have a thing like t minus 3 by 2, so it's moved to the left by 3 by 2 units. So we are going to have this one shifted, three by 2 units. Okay, let's say this is 3 by 2. So the area is still going to be 1, and this is in the negative 1.5 right now. So this is x of, actually del of, not x of, del of t plus 3 by 2. T plus 3 by 2. Now this is t, right? Del of t plus 3 by 2, this is t. Now let's see what happens if we have del of t minus 3 by 2. For del of t minus 3 by 2, what's going to happen is exactly opposite thing. Like whenever we have minus 3 by 2, it's going to shift to the right side by 3 by 2, right? So we are going to have a graph like this, and here we will have this del, that is 1, area is 1, the amplitude is infinity. Okay, so this is at 1.5, and this is del of t minus 3 by 2. Okay, now we have all these things available. Now let's see how we can add them together. So first, if you look at the expression, we have 3 plus t plus 3 by 2 minus t minus 3 by 2. Let's try to combine these two together. Okay, so t plus 3 by 2, we looked at this one. This is the t plus 3 by 2. Now if I add del of t minus 3 by 2, it's going to be what? We are going to have something like this. T minus 3 by 2 is 1, shifted 1.5 to the right. Right, so we are going to have something like this, and this is also area is 1. So this is plus, but if I put minus here, what's going to happen is it's going to flip around and it's going to be facing downward. So we have to draw this one in the downward direction. Okay, so this one is going to be downward right now, and this is minus. Because of this minus, it flipped to the downward. Now we have taken care of this part. Now here you can see we have multiplied this by x of t. X of t is this graph right here. The given graph is x of t. Now let's see how we can add, how we can combine this one with this one. Now first we have to see this position, like negative 1.5, what's happening here. Here you can see this one is what? Because for this one we only have this negative 1.5 and this one 1.5. This is 1.5. So these are the two locations we have to take care of, because we are multiplying only these two locations. Okay, others doesn't matter, doesn't do anything. Now let's look at 1.5 right here. First of all, we have to find out the equation of this line. Now to find the equation of the line, we can pick up the points. Starting point of this line is negative 2 in the x direction, and the y is 0, and this one is negative 1 and the y is 0. Okay, so to create the equation of the line, what we do is we put, okay, when negative 2, it's negative 1, not 0. So this is negative 1. Now to create the equation of the line, what we do is we put y minus y1 divided by x minus x1, is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now y minus y1 is what? Y is, let's say y is a function x of t or f of t minus, this is what, y1 is the first point, so -1 minus 1, that's going to be +1 divided by x minus x1. So let's keep it as x minus x1 is first point, so that's going to be +2. That's equal to y2 minus y1. y2 is 0 minus -1, that's going to be +1. So y2, so that's going to, finally we are going to end up with just 1 right here. And x2 minus x1, x2 is -1 minus 2, that's going to be +2. So 2 minus 1, that's going to be 1. So we end up with f of t plus 1 is equal to x plus 2. So f of t is going to be x plus 1. So this is the equation of this line. So this equation of the line is x plus 1. So we figured this one out. Let's get rid of this. All we need is just the equation. Okay. And also I had to complete this part. Okay. So this, we found out the equation of this one. And we have to find what is the equation of this one, because this is between 1.5. We need to know this location too, because we are taking care of -1.5 and 1.5. So to find this one, again we have to pick up 2 points. This is at 1, this is 2, actually 1 comma 1 and 2 comma 0. From this one, let's go ahead and create the equation. Y minus y1 divided by x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Y minus y1, let's say f of t, minus the first y is 1 divided by x minus x1, that's also 1, is equal to y2 minus y1. Y2 is 0 minus 1 divided by x2 minus x1, that's 2 minus 1. Okay, finally we end up with -1 over 1, so that's a -1. So this is multiplied by negative x. So if you multiply this one with -1, we are left with -1 right here, negative x plus 1. And also if you move this 1 to this side, that's going to become x plus 2. So this is going to be the final expression, negative x plus 2. So negative x plus 2 is this one. Okay, or we can say t plus 2. In that way that will make more sense, because x-axis is t, so we better put t, because we consider x-axis as x, that's why we got this expression, but in real we have x-axis is t, so let's put t right here, t plus 1, and this is t plus 2. So now we have found out the equation of these two lines. Now let's see how it's going to help us. At 1.5, if you plug 1.5 for this one, what's going to happen? This is 1.5 plus 1, right? 1.5 plus 1, that's going to become 2.5. So we are getting 2.5 right here. So 2.5, this one is negative 1.5, right? Negative 1.5 actually. This location is negative 1.5. So negative 1.5 plus 1, that's going to give us negative 0.5. And if you multiply this 1 by negative 0.5, you will get a negative 0.5. So this is going to be, if I multiply this whole thing by x of t, we are going to have a graph like this. We are going to have this one shifted downward right now, because if you multiply 1 with negative 0.5, you are going to get negative 0.5. So we are going to have this one with negative 0.5 area, and that's it for this one. Now let's look at the 1.5 location. If you plug 1.5 for this t, this is going to be 1.5 plus 2, and this negative already there, so this is going to be 0.5, but this one already negative 1, right? Before we figured out, because of this flip before we had this one is equal to 1. Because of this negative sign, it was flipped around and this was -1. And if you multiply this one by 0.5 now, this is gonna become -0.5, right? So this is gonna become half of this. So let's make this one more smaller. So this is going to be our final graph, our final sketch of this signal given expression. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.